Hi, welcome to Potluck. I'm K. Patrick Glover. My guest tonight is Dominick Cicco. He is a singer-songwriter, a musician, an actor with performances on both the big and little screen as well as the stage, and an opera performer. Dominick, welcome to Potluck.
Thank you, Patrick. It's good being here.
So let's start with what you consider yourself as. Is acting your main thing? Is the music your main?
Well, I guess whatever I'm doing at the time is the thing that I am.
Okay.
If I'm on a set doing an acting piece, then you know that's my thing at the time. And if I'm playing in front of an audience, guitar and singing, that's what I am. I work a lot at opera because it's more demanding. So I take a lot of time and work on my voice, and so that demands a little bit more time.
Now, how did you get into opera?
Well, early on, I just heard some opera singers, like while I was still living in New York. I was living in New York in the beginning of the 80s. And I think I heard Pavarotti sing, and I'm like, oh, I gotta try doing that. Of course, he's a tenor and I'm a bass, but and he's like, you know, a gazillion superstar.
Okay.
But
I don't want to number anything, but I'll put you on the spot for a second. Can you do a quick little thing in an opera voice?
Okay, let's see. Non piandrai farfallone amoroso, notte giorno di torno girando, delle belle turbando riposo, narcisetto adoncino d'amor. Delle belle turbando riposo, narcisetto adoncino d'amor.
Awesome. Now tell me what you just said.
Yeah, that was Figaro telling Cherubino that he's going to be going off to the military. No more flirting around with women. No more, you know, flying around like an amorous butterfly.
Cool.
He's getting out of there. They want him out of the picture,
right,
basically.
So how long have you been a musician? How long have you been singing?
Since I'm 11. I was supposed to play saxophone in the high school, you know, for high school, but they were like expensive. I think they were like $300 at the time. Mm-hmm. So my father had an old guitar at home, J.B. Walters. I think he paid $7 for it. And he taught me how to play guitar, and I just started playing guitar. I guess that satisfied my desire to play music.
How long have you been doing it professionally?
Well, it wasn't too long after that I was in a band in high school, and first job we played was a girl's birthday party, and we put money in an envelope for her. So yeah, we didn't get paid for that job, but then we started playing school dances and, you know, little parties and little get-togethers and things like that, and it grew from that. And so we did get paid. It was a professional.
Do you do a lot of work with bands? Most of the times I've seen you perform has been solo.
Last time I was with a band was maybe we got a couple years ago. And I was rehearsing with them, but then I started to get back into the acting again. The manager got back in touch with me, and I hooked up with her again, a manager out in Jersey.
Okay.
And I told the band, I said, if something comes up, an audition or something, I'm going to have to do it. So I don't want to put you guys on the spot. So we decided to do a mutual break. And it's much easier for me on my own when I'm playing that. I don't have to put other people out if I have to drop and go, because that's the way, the nature of the business. You might have an audition the next day, or you might get a call back, you might get a gig, and you got to be there.
Most of your auditioning up in New York?
Yeah, New York and Philly.
Okay. You were doing a stage down in Florida a few years ago, weren't you?
Yeah, I did 5 seasons down Florida Studio Theater in Sarasota.
How did that happen?
Auditioning in New York. My manager at the time had gotten me an audition, and they were auditioning in New York, and it was for a guitar show.
Okay.
4 or 5 people on stage playing guitar, and the first show I did was called Outlaws and Angels. So it was like Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Dolly Parton, you know,
Right.
that kind of thing.
You play mostly bar gigs with the acoustic stuff, or do you
It's a mix. It's a mix. Wineries, bars, coffee houses. And I play, during the day, I play in a lot of nursing homes.
Okay.
That's kind of like a day gig.
All right. Is it still the same sort of mix of music? It's been 20 years since I've seen you play.
Yeah, well, I'm playing a lot of those same songs, actually.
For the record, Dominick is an old friend. We met 20-some years ago at a bar in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's been a long time. But I don't learn a lot of contemporary music, a lot of new stuff. Mm-hmm. Most of my stuff is 60s, 70s, you know, back when, you know, when I was playing before. And then I'll do Johnny Cash and Sinatra and some Italian music, and, you know, I'll mix it up. It's usually depending on where I'm playing.
What's your crowd like? You drawing a more middle-aged crowd or a younger crowd, or?
It's probably more of a middle-aged crowd, middle-aged and up. When I play at the coffee shop, which I frequent all the time, mm-hmm. A lot of regulars come in, and it's a fun time. But they're, yeah, middle-aged and up. So
you've got one full album of original music now.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you are actually an inspiration for that. Inspired me to do that, to get going and write something, if you recall.
I do, yeah.
And then I decided to write something. I'm kind of a strange writer. I need something to write for, or else I don't do it. But then once I do, it comes easy to me. So I wrote the CD. I had a couple songs already, and then I wrote the CD in maybe a week or two. A couple weeks, I wrote the lyrics, and then had it in pretty good shape. Then I ran into glitches at getting it recorded. So it was 1999 I started it, and I didn't finish it till 06. That's why I call the CD Finally.
Right.
Because people were starting to doubt. I'd be like, I have a CD coming. Yeah, sure you do. But yeah, it finally came around.
It's great stuff. And it can be heard on Amazon Prime and...
Amazon Prime, yeah, Amazon. It's up on Amazon.
CD Baby?
CD Baby.
CD Baby also.
Yeah.
Actually, why don't you play us a number off the album?
Sure, I'd be glad to.
My favorite was always It Comes Back. Can we do that?
I'll do that one for you.
Okay.
Someone today left a message for you on my machine. I guess they don't know that our numbers are no longer the same. It's been a while, I wish they'd make the damn correction. I think I'm alright until I hear your name. Then it comes back, all the hurting and the pain, it comes back. All the times I went insane, it comes back. The way you kept me coming when I knew I should be running, like a train down a getaway track. Yeah, it comes back. Oh, it comes back. I still recall how I looked into your fragile eyes. They made me believe I was the one who could break your fall. But I found out that the truth was told by so many lies. And if your heart didn't bleed, you'd have no heart at all. Still it comes back, all the hurting and the pain, it comes back. All the times I went insane, it comes back. The way you kept me coming when I knew I should be running like a train down a getaway track. Oh, it comes back. Yeah, it comes back. You think I'd learn, stay away from bees in the swarm. Though I got myself burned, I can't forget that the flame is warm when it comes back. All the tenderness we shared, it comes back. Living like we cared, it comes back. I swore that it was right when I held you in the night, and I felt like I never did before. Yeah, it comes back. All the pain and the hurt comes back. All the times that you were flirting comes back. You had me going blind as a sign on the dotted line that made you the owner of my heart. Yeah, it comes back. Oh, it comes back. You had me going blind as a sign on the dotted line that made you the owner of my heart. Yeah, it comes back.
That was Dominick playing It Comes Back off of his album Finally. Dominick, let's talk a little bit about the acting work now. You've done The Wire, a TV show called Hack. You've
Yes.
been in several features, The Pink Panther.
Well, Pink Panther I was an extra in.
Okay.
But it was worth it seeing Steve Martin.
Tell us, let's start with The Wire. How'd you get that gig?
That was an audition that I did for, let me see, an agency in Baltimore. It's escaping me right now, but it's an agency, a big agency in Baltimore. So I auditioned. Matter of fact, I must have auditioned about 3 times for that show before I finally got it. And she told me, she goes, "You're going to get on here. You know, one of these times you're going to get on here." The casting agent, I mean. So yeah, it was through an audition.
Now, it's an incredibly memorable scene. For those who haven't seen it, I don't want to give too much of the plot away, but Dominick does the entire piece without saying a word.
Yeah, there's actually one line. There's like one line in a couple words. He says, "Never hear the name," when he brings up a name. That was it.
Was it scripted that way? I mean, were you told to just walk around and give glaring looks?
Well, no, actually, I did my own blocking for it because there were no lines, really, except that one line. And then
because you managed to convey a lot in that little scene.
Well, the directors, thank you. The directors were great. It was a husband and wife team, and they just gave me some freedom and told me that, you know, a couple things that I don't want this guy in my shop. So, plus the place may be bugged, and he's asking these people's names, so that's why he was ticking me off. He shouldn't have been there.
If you look Dominick up on IMDb, that scene, the clip of that scene is actually there. I was watching it before the show today to prepare.
Okay.
So if you're interested, you can go look at that scene.
Pat Moran is the name of the agency in Baltimore that I got that through, the casting agency.
So tell us a little bit about the feature films you've done.
Well, I did Invincible with Mark Wahlberg. Once again, that was an audition. And I actually auditioned for one of the Phillies fans. "Hey, Vermeil, go on back to California," you know, like yelling at him and abusing him and stuff. And the director asked me to read for the South Philly guy, which is the part I got, where he actually goes up to Wahlberg and shakes hands and, "Hey, you're Papali, you keep sticking to those guys." And I think my height had something to do with it, because I'm 5'6". Wahlberg's probably 5'9", and Papali's probably 6 foot. He's a big guy. So my thinking is if I were 5'10" or something, I would have made Wahlberg look smaller. So I think my height might have had something to do with me getting a part, which is fine. It works. That works.
Have they ever made you stand on a box?
No, I haven't had any tall leading ladies yet that I've had to have rest on my shoulder. No, not yet.
You did a bunch of extra work when you were starting.
Yeah.
What kind of, other than Pink Panther, what else did you do?
Oh, God. We Own the Night. God, there was a bunch of them. Find Me Guilty. That was a Vin Diesel. We did a whole month of extra work on that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was that fun?
Yeah, because I got to stay. It was in Bayonne, New Jersey, in a big warehouse, and I got to stay there for it. I had a room, and we would show up in a courtroom every day, and watch Vin Diesel, watch Sidney Lumet direct it. Great director.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah. So I was able to watch all these actors, and it was great. Had a lot of fun.
If you're giving advice to somebody who wanted to start working in film from this area, living in Virginia or West Virginia or Maryland, what would you do? How should they start?
Well, I would say take classes if you can, acting classes. Get an idea of what you're doing. Now, theater and film are two different things. Acting for theater is more of a projection. It's a bigger animation. Film is a little bit more natural. So knowing the difference, going even workshops, school you could get into, and then start marketing yourself around to different agencies in the area and different casting.
Are there a lot of casting agencies in this area?
There are a few in Philly.
Okay.
And a few in Baltimore.
Okay.
But New York City has a lot. That'd be the.
So you're going to be traveling to New York one way or the other.
Yeah, if you get auditions that are going to take place there, yeah.
Okay.
And they do a lot. New York does a lot.
Yeah. What do you do mostly these days?
Mostly it's music right now. I have some auditions coming up the end of this week for Walnut Street Theater in Philly and also Fulton Theater in Lancaster, which are big theaters.
Yeah, I've been to the Fulton.
They do great shows.
Yeah.
So having any part of that would be great. And another audition in New York for opera for Riverside Opera Company. They're out in Staten Island. They do like full orchestra and concert things. So I'm trying to reconnect with the acting a little bit more now.
Okay.
Trying to get involved with that a little bit more. I'm doing mostly music right now.
Is the field harder now than it was 10 years ago to get?
Well,
it seems there's a lot more reality TV and a lot less scripted programming and.
Reality TV, I thought that'd be gone. After it was kind of a phase, but man, it just grew. So writers, it kind of inflicted itself in a few different areas. Writers, actors, scripted shows, there weren't as many. But with the advent of Netflix now, Netflix has a ton of shows.
That's true.
Ton of shows. And movies, a lot of them are foreign, but most of them aren't, and TV series. Amazon Prime has all kinds of series coming out, and these are all scripted.
Right.
I don't know about the reality shows too much. There may be some on there, but I don't know. I don't watch them.
Yeah.
And the age factor too. I mean, it's a young business. It's for youth.
Yeah.
Up and comers and that kind. That's where probably the lion's share of parts are. But there are always parts for everyone, really. Old, young, thin, not so thin, character roles, lead roles. There are all kinds of roles out there. So I wouldn't give up, for one of those reasons, appearance.
You could audition for Commissioner Gordon for the new Batman movie.
Very true. Very true. There are a lot of, well, the problem with that is there's other actors that are my age that may have a longer track record than me.
Yeah.
And they'd be the go-to people. Now, a lot of actors drop out, you know, when they get to a certain age, so.
That's an interesting question. Do a lot of roles ever get auditioned, or are a lot of the bigger roles just given to people that they've already got in mind?
That's probably a combination. Some writers write with a certain actor in mind, and they go to the actor themselves and say, you know, I've got this script for you, Tom Hanks,
right?
You know, or whomever, you know, Allison Janney, or you know, whatever, and they're pretty much sewed up.
Right.
They get scripts all the time, but in general, for the most part, a lot has to do with what noise you're making in the business. You know, if people are hearing about you, and they think that you might be a draw. It's all about making money. It's all about, you know, it's a business.
Speaking of business, do you have any steady gigs, places you're going to be at on a regular basis that you could, the audience could catch you?
I'll be playing at the Hershey Vineyard, Hershey, PA, coming up throughout the summer. Castles, that's another vineyard in Hershey. I play at the Cornerstone Coffee Shop in Camp Hill, PA, also.
Okay.
First Saturday of every month.
And you post all this stuff up on your Facebook page or website?
Facebook, yeah, and I have a list, a mailing list I send to people.
Okay. What haven't we covered? The opera. Is that something you do just in the area, or I seem to recall you taking a trip to Italy?
Well, I took a trip to Italy with my son.
Yeah.
But that was just to go.
That was just fun.
Yeah. Matter of fact, we listened to some opera while we were there. But that was about the food and wine. Man, we enjoyed that. So yeah, we went there, went to Paris this year with my daughter and son and their prospective spouse's girlfriend. And yeah, we just had a good time. We had a good time. But yeah, the opera has been mostly. I sang a little bit in Sacramento, and I've done local things in Harrisburg. So.
Okay. Well, Dominick, I want to thank you for coming out. It's been a pleasure seeing you again. Will you play us out with another tune?
Sure, love to.
Okay, let me just say this has been Potluck. You can find us online at potluck-online.org, and we'll be back soon. And this is Dominick Cicco with Let Me Burn.
Fire from the heat of your touch burns in my memories of you. Why can't I leave it alone? Feels like I don't really want to. Seems like I'm already dead, and hell is a place where I'm making my bed, so let me burn. Let me burn. I still can taste your breath. I feel your body all over me. I wanna lay with you, even though the flames take control of me. I know I should stop and go home, but burning alive is better than dying alone, so let me burn. let me burn. Yeah, let me burn, yeah. I know I should stop and go home, but burning alive is better than dying alone. So let me burn, let me burn, yeah, let me burn, yeah.